Today's Mac Voices is supported by RemoteHQ. Collaborate as if you were in the same room. Visit remotehq.co/MacVoices for a free trial and 3 months free with the code MacVoices. Welcome to Mac Voices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, we are really running down the ragged edge of getting our gift guides in before the holiday, but there's still so many people I want to talk to. So this is not the last gift guide, but it's probably close to it, which means that the picks have gotten a lot tougher at this point. So we're just going to dive in. You know the rules. We try to avoid duplicating anything from any previous shows or panels, I should say, but that doesn't always happen because, sometimes I can't get the list out or people have different reasons for picking things. So it's not a strict rule. It's just one we try to adhere to. And other than that, we just have some fun. So I'm going to take the panel and let you know who's here, and then we'll get to the gifts. First up, Mr. Andrew Orr. Andrew, welcome. It's great to have you on this year's gift guide.
Hey, good to be here once again. I love these gift guides.
Yeah, they cost us all money. That's the only thing, Andrew.
Yeah.
But, what are you going to do? The whole way from Ireland, Mr. Bart Busschots has joined us. We were actually able to find a time that Bart worked for Bart. So thanks, Bart, for being here.
It just wouldn't be Christmas without you, Chuck. I mean, this is a tradition. Every year I show up here. So it had to be done. 2020's ruined almost everything, but God darn it, I'm here.
Thank you. I think that's one of the first times I've ever been specifically associated with Christmas.
There you go. You need a beard now, and then you're golden.
I'm flattered, but I'm not sure Christmas is flattered. So, and last but absolutely not least, Mr. Mike Potter is here with us. Mike, great to see you. Thank you.
Great to see you, and it's great to be on this distinguished panel of guests. And yeah, it's late for you, Bart. You're doing a late night to be here with us tonight.
Yeah, it's only 11 p.m. I'm a bit of a night owl. 1 a.m. is kind of my bedtime, so it's all good.
Oh, we'll have you in bed plenty of time for if the target is 1 a.m. your time, we'll get it done. We'll get it done. So you heard the rules, guys. Everyone knows them. So let's just get to the goodies. Andrew, I'll just keep the same order if that's okay. Andrew, you get the first pick of this round.
So this is something that I actually ordered for myself. They posted a notice on their website. So this is by Studio Neat, because of COVID and everything, shipping might be late. So it may not come in time for the holidays. So this is something called what they call a material dock. And, when the iPhone 12 came out, Apple introduced MagSafe for the iPhones previously from the Mac. And so it's this, little hockey puck that you stick to the back of your phone, and it magnetically attaches and wirelessly charges your phone. And so their material dock, I think, looks really nice. It's like this little wooden holder for the MagSafe, and it kind of turns it into a dock, hence, the name material dock. They say it's made out of walnut. So that's kind of fancy, I think. They have one just for the MagSafe, just this little circular thing. But they also have a longer product for you can drop your MagSafe in there, and then you can also use it to charge your Apple Watch. So I thought these were looking pretty nice.
Sounds interesting. I think I remember seeing that. And I just sort of filed it away maybe for future purchase. But have you received it yet?
Not yet. I think it's going to show up this weekend.
Okay.
And so the MagSafe one just by itself is $20, and then the Apple Watch combination one is $48.
Okay.
But I just think it's a nice thing to kind of spruce up this white bland MagSafe thing.
Walnut up, but yeah.
Yeah, walnut. It just says quality.
It really does. Actually, it's funny you mentioned spruce. I've just discovered that I'm in the process of moving into a new house, and so I'm big into things. And my floor arrived today, and I chose spruce, which is a wood I was not familiar with, but it's very pretty. So sprucing it up is a thing. My house is being spruced up.
Nice.
I can't let that go, Bart. So you're moving into a new house and you just chose your floor?
Well, yeah. So it's a new build, but it comes without floors. So basically, they give you the house with the kitchen built in, the bathrooms are tiled, and all the rest is over to you. Oh, the walls are painted, and then it's kind of over to you. So I'm trying to convince people to lay me a floor over Christmas in a pandemic. It's going real well.
I would think so. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And I don't know about over there, but over here, material prices are crazy because of the wildfires and the hurricanes and everything that we've had. So good luck with that.
My estimate of what it would cost, it's wrong. So wrong. And not in the way I had hoped. Anyway.
So I guess it's safe to say that you're not picking spruce floors as your pick, although you could.
Hard to find the tech angle. But I spent a lot of time thinking about what I would pick. So I decided I'm going to do a COVID theme because this year has just been so weird for me that all the usual stuff I buy, I haven't bought or haven't done. Like the last thing that arrived before the pandemic was a backpack I think I really like. I have used it once because I don't go to work anymore. I'm in work. This is work. And so I can't really pick it because it's like, in theory, it's nice. So I figured I'm going to start with the most depressing, scary side of the pandemic and move towards fun. So I sort of thought, what do I do every day? What has 2020 been in my life in terms of tech? And every day starts with this, which is the Withings Thermo, a digital thermometer, a smart digital thermometer. So basically, it does the whole forehead thing. So you push the button once, you rub it over your head, and it magically shows up on your phone. And so I do that first thing in the morning and last thing at night. And so far, so good. No fevers. Long may that last. But it is supremely easy to do, supremely quick to read, and just accurate and easy. So if you're going to go with a smart thermometer, and I think it's a good thing to do in the pandemic, I would highly recommend anything, frankly, from Withings. They were Nokia. Well, they were Withings, then they were Nokia, and now they're Withings again. I have their blood pressure monitor too. It's great. And I have their smart body composition scales, and they're great too. But as I say, for 2020, the Withings smart thermometer, they call it a thermo. So it's my depressing pick, and it's all uphill from here.
Well, I don't know that that's depressing. I think that's just a sign of the times, and it's realistic. And if it makes taking your temperature that much easier, you're much more likely to do it more often. Even if you have a little chill and think, oh, is that a fever or not? You just do it, then you get it off your mind. So, no, good pick. Good pick.
I've also discovered something interesting. When I think I have a fever, I actually have the opposite. So when I feel all icky and I take my temperature, I actually have about half a degree under normal. So when I think, oh, I feel feverish, it's like, nope, 35.9. That's cold. Anyway, it's things you learn about yourself in a pandemic.
Yeah. There you go. Mike, what are you going to give us for first round?
Well, like Andrew, I also bought this for myself, but I bought this. It was in my cart. It was in my cart, holding off buying it until you put out the gift guide announcements. And I said, well, gosh darn it, I'm going to buy this thing because I really want it, and it's going to be a great gift guide pick. So we spend so much time at our computers. I spend a lot of time at my desktop computer over there. I'm obviously sitting at my MacBook right now, but we spend so much time there. I want a comfortable typing experience. I want a good keyboard. I want something that I can work on all day long. So I picked up this oh wait, no, that's not it. That was my first one. No, not that one. I needed something that wasn't USB. This thing, every time I want to do something on my desk, I got to move this, and it's like getting in the way. So I did a lot of research, and I found what is the perfect keyboard for me. Now, I know keyboards are very personal, but I picked up the Logitech Mx Keys for Mac. That's what did I block the microphone? The Logitech Mx Keys for Mac. This is a backlit wireless keyboard from Logitech. I love the keys on this. One of the most important things is that the function key is in the correct spot. It's in the correct spot. So many wireless keyboards, when I looked into them, they put the function key down here in the corner. Now that's right for a laptop, but it's not right for a desktop. I'm so used to the function key being up in this little section of keys up here that I just knew if it were down in that corner, I would never get used to that. So this is the third keyboard I've had for my Macs in the last probably 10 plus years. And I absolutely love it. I love the backlit aspect of it. I love that it's rechargeable. It's got excellent battery life on it. It's nice and heavy. This is almost 2 pounds. It's like 1.8 pounds. So it doesn't slide on the desk. And that was the first thing that impressed me when I opened up the box. I went, oh my gosh, this thing has some nice heft to it. So it's not going to slide around, which I really like. It does have some bonus keys on it. So there's up in the corner here, you can actually reprogram all the function keys, and you can reprogram these 4 bonus keys in the corner here. They are set up by default for the calculator and screen capture and locking the Mac and things like that. But you can reprogram those in the Logitech option software to anything you want. In fact, I programmed the calculator key to launch one of my other picks that I'm gonna mention tonight. But I just love this keyboard. And one of the nice things about it is that it connects to your Mac either with a standard Logitech unifying receiver or Bluetooth, and it will connect up to 3 devices. So the what we know as the F13 through F15 keys also, or what old guys like me know as the F13 through F15 keys, are dual purposed to allow you to switch between your 3 devices. So you can quickly switch. Wow. Like right now, it's hooked up to my MacBook Pro by just pressing this F14 key right there. And then when I go back over to my desktop Mac, I'll just press the F13 key. It'll be switched over to that one. And of course, I could have it switched over to my iPad as well. So that is all really great. Again, it's backlit, which I love. Battery life is pretty good. You're going to get about 10 days of battery life with the backlight on, which is how I keep it. I don't know why you would not want the backlight on, because that's one of the things. You could
be one of those strange human beings who live during the daytime as opposed to us nerds who live at night.
Well, that's true. That's very true. I do love that it's a proximity sensor. So when you get close to the keyboard or you touch the keyboard, the backlight comes on. When you're not handling it, it goes off. Oh, so right now it's on. When I set it down, it goes off in just a few seconds, which I love.
And how does it charge, Mike? Because I think it just cost me money, by the way. You've almost certainly just cost me money.
I'm getting to that because I have a couple little weird kind of annoying things about it. It does charge with USB-C on the back. So like I said, it's about 10 days with the backlight on. They claim it's 5 months with the backlight off. So much like Apple's wireless keyboards, I imagine it really only draws power when you're pressing the keys. Yeah. Unlike a mouse that's drawing power all the time. So you're going to get a good long time out of it if you don't have the backlight on. It is an LED backlight, so it's not drawing that much. So you do get pretty decent life. I've only charged it twice in the time I've had it. And it charges pretty quickly too. So I like all that about it. So it charges USB-C. Now, what they included in the box, this is some of the perplexing stuff about it. They included a relatively short USB-C to USB-C cable. Wonderful. You know, if my MacBook Pro can charge it, my desktop Mac cannot charge it. So I need a USB-A to USB-C cable on my Mac over here to charge it. And if I don't have a free USB port, a little wall wart to plug in and charge it. So something from Anchor or, something like that to charge it, or an Anchor USB-C. But this is such a short cable that I really need a longer cable to charge it. And that's a bit of a bummer. As a premium device, I'd like to see them include 2 cables with it to accommodate all the users.
I presume an iPad Pro charger will charge it just fine.
I presume it would too. Although I have a Lightning iPad, so mine will not charge it. So the other weirdness is that the unifying receiver is USB-A, which all unifying receivers that I've ever seen are USB-A. but you've got a USB-C charging cable and a USB-A unifying receiver. So it's just kind of...
I think there's a subtle hint there. They want you to use Bluetooth.
Yeah, they want you to use Bluetooth, and it works great. You can connect it to 3 devices with Bluetooth, or 1 device with the unifying receiver and 2 with Bluetooth. Excellent keyboard. I've been very happy with it so far. I love the key travel on it. It's very similar to this guy right here, which this is one of my favorite all-time keyboards. I do not like the new ones with the ultra-thin flat keys. This is the one that actually has key travel on it, and that's what I like about this. And Logitech makes good hardware, and this is a nice, I'll just call it space gray, aluminum and plastic keyboard, and really love it. So that's my first pick. It's $99.99. I think I paid $94 for it on Amazon. So
wow, very nice.
Very
nice.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that's my birthday present taken care of.
Okay, well,
my birthday's in January, so
yeah. It was my early Christmas present.
Well, I'm going to, since it's my show, I'm going to break a rule here just a little bit, or sort of. Early in the gift guides, I said, I've done sort of what Bart was doing, some pandemic picks, and I've discovered the joys of having 3 monitors, and I was 3.
Wow.
Yes, here, well, including the laptop monitor. But it is so nice to be able to put different projects, different places, and I've said this before in the show plenty of times, that I firmly believe that we're never going to get to a paperless office until the size of our desks or our screen real estate mirrors a physical desk, because you just, the way you work, you don't work in one little corner of your desk and then take things and put them under and then keep rotating them. So 3 monitors, but up till recently, the 2 that were not my laptop screen were 1920 by 1080s, and I discovered that during this holiday season, I've been shocked that every monitor maker seems to be running some really interesting deals. And so I need to look up the number to make sure I get it right here. I purchased a Dell S271. Excuse me, let me start again. Dell S2 721QS, 27-inch 4K UHD monitor.
That's a great display.
For a lot less than $300.
Wow.
Which was a deal that was just too good to be true.
Yeah.
Then I started scouting around and realized that this is one of a number of really great monitors that are sub 300. Some are really sub 300, depending on what it is that you want. It is only an HDMI monitor, so it's not USB-C monitor. It has 2 HDMI ports. That's all it has, but that's fine because I really don't need all those other ports. I've got docks and things like that for it. So I can seriously recommend this. In fact, it's turned off right now. Let's see. Got to take my head the right way, but that's it right there beside my head. As opposed to, I'll take my here. I'll just get out of the way. But there's the 24 inches beside the 27 inch is the one I'm recommending. So you get an idea of the screen real estate size. Plus, it's now 4K. So I've got an embarrassing number of pixels at my command that and I'm quickly getting addicted to it.
You're never going back. That's it now. You forevermore you must have 4K because your eyes will see everything else as broken.
Super pixelated. Yeah.
Yes. But at the same time,
Great.
I am so much more productive with it. I can't begin to explain that. So it's probably been the best productivity investment I've made this year. So if you're looking for a monitor, I can strongly recommend this one. If you can get it at the holiday prices, great. If not, it's still a really good monitor and maybe one that you want to watch for. Dell, as much as I detest their anything they do other than monitors, they really do monitors well. So, take a good hard look at this. And if not this one, then just go to Amazon and type in 27-inch 4K monitor and see what comes up that might suit you.
Yeah, I picked up a 28-inch 4K monitor early pandemic from Samsung, and I sort of went to my favorite Irish local tech websites, went filter 4K, sort by price low to high. And I just looked for one that was at 25% off. And so I ended up with a 28-inch Samsung for, I think it was $280.
Wow.
And it's when you're forced to work from home with a 12-inch MacBook Adorable, it's not optional. It's just not optional.
Yeah. Bart, I think that's something a lot of us have learned, that if you have a laptop, even if you have a desktop, I mean, it's a 5K iMac is gorgeous and you can do a lot with it. But just having all that extra screen real estate to do what you would normally do on a desk is truly terrific.
It's invaluable. Absolutely invaluable.
Yeah. Today's Mac Voices is supported by RemoteHQ. Collaborate as if you were in the same room. Visit remotehq.co/MacVoices for a free trial and 3 months free with the code MacVoices. It isn't quite time for New Year's resolutions yet, but why not start early? How about resolving to make your team more productive, whether they are in the office or working remotely, or a little bit of both? RemoteHQ will help you keep that resolution by giving your team the online collaboration service they have been looking for. RemoteHQ is more than just a single space where you can all get together. RemoteHQ lets you create an unlimited number of rooms, so that your IT team can be meeting in one, while your marketing team meets in another, and the board of directors is convened in yet another. But it gets better. In any of those rooms, you can bring in the apps that you already use. Apps like a shared browser, Trello, Notes, Miro, and more. And what happens in each room has a digital paper trail, so that it's all but impossible to lose that idea or discussion. That paper trail also contains the artifacts of the discussion, like charts and images, so nothing is lost. Collaboration is here to stay, so you need to be sure to get on board, and there's no easier way to do that than with RemoteHQ. Visit remotehq.co/MacVoices to sign up for a free trial right now and see everything they have to offer. Then, when you're ready to bring your team on board, use the code MacVoices for 3 months free. remotehq.co/MacVoices for a free trial and 3 months free with the code MacVoices. Do it now and start collaborating right away. Thanks to RemoteHQ for their support of Mac Voices. Okay, gentlemen, so that's round one, and there are a lot of varied picks in that one. So let's go to round two, and Andrew, we'll come back to you.
All right, let's see here. Fire up the browser. So this is actually another iPhone adjacent one. And I picked this because I thought it could fill a niche for the iPhone photographers, and because I'm kind of into photography. So, with the last couple iPhones, we have 3 different cameras, the wide one, the ultra wide one, and then the telephoto. One kind of lens that we don't have is a macro lens. And so I thought this macro lens by Moment was a good choice. Moment is a pretty well-known brand in the photography world. They make really high-quality products. I think the type of glass they use is by Zeiss, if I'm pronouncing that right, which is high-quality glass. So they have, it's not just macro. They have a whole bunch of different kinds of lenses. This one is a 10x, 10, like zoom in 10 times kind of deal, which I think their website says you're able to capture pretty good shots within an inch away from your subject. And
Sweet.
Yeah. And so this one, they're having a sale right now, because of the holidays. So it's currently $20 off at $89.99. And it comes with, the lens, of course, a lens pouch, there's also a rear lens cap, and also a lens hood, which is kind of it's a diffuser. So it's something you snap onto the lens, and that kind of breaks up the harsh light and makes your subject look kind of soft.
Cool.
Very, very nice. I have a couple Moment lenses, and they really are absolutely terrific lenses.
Mhm.
The biggest challenge is that, unfortunately, as Apple tweaks every iPhone, you end up having to buy a new case to go with your Moment lenses.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's better than buying a lens case that, lens and the case are integrated, and then you have to buy everything the whole way over. So I've spent the money and invested in the lenses, and now I just have to get a case to connect them. But yeah,
there's a lot of sort of, I mean, obviously not Zeiss quality, right? That is the Rolls Royce of macro lenses for iPhone that you have there.
Mhm.
But if you don't want the Rolls Royce, there's actually a lot of cheaper clip-on ones that are actually universal and will work on any, an Android phone or an iPhone or whatever. And you'll sometimes find those on Amazon for, $20. And you mean, if you're a pixel peeper, but they're really fun. They're just like, for $20, they're just genuinely good fun,
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I can only imagine how, if you go with a high quality version of that, you can do really great stuff.
Yeah. Bart, how do you? I have some of those, and I never seem to be able to get them lined up just right. Is there a trick to it?
I make sure that it's exactly centered over. So the one I have is a pretty nice. You can sort of see very clearly when you have it properly centered, and it's just really important that it be exactly centered.
Right.
So there's a hole which is a little bit bigger than the lens, and you could in theory be off by 3 or 4 millimeters in either direction, and if you're off any amount at all, it just won't focus. So you just have to be really careful to center it exactly in the circle. And I can't remember which, but I know it by feel now because you have 3 lenses on the front of the iPhone, and only one of them works, which is the 1X lens. So you got to remember which lens you're clipping it over, and then just clip it really carefully centered. But I'm getting astonishingly good results with a lens that was $27.
Wow.
Complete no-name brand, but for that price, it's just so much fun,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what I found with the pandemic, I'm not going anywhere. So a wide-angle lens for landscapes. Well, I live in a nice part of Ireland, but I've been here all year now. I'm kind of bored of it. But when you can get in close, there's a lot of detail that you normally pass over, and particularly natural things. You have a bud, becomes a flower, becomes a seed. If you go on the same walk every day with your macro lens, there's something different all the time. So I found them very good way to not get bored in the middle of the pandemic. And actually, that was my spare pick. So I'm glad I don't need my spare. Well, I hope I don't need my spare.
Yeah, I love macro photography. That's kind of the main thing that I focus on, just because, like you said, there's a whole nother world in the small areas.
Even in suburbia, I mean, there's between textures, and it's amazing where teeny tiny little ferns this big will grow in a brick wall. Like a brick wall, how? But they do.
That was a terrible pun, Andrew.
I caught it.
Yeah, it's like, ouch. Okay, so Bart, round 2.
Well, I'm circling very much back to where you are. So I mentioned living on a MacBook Adorable for the pandemic. That was true for most of the pandemic. As of a few days ago, I'm now on a MacBook Air, which is a nice upgrade. Not an M1 one, but anyway, leave that aside. And so having a nice monitor is great, but you also need to have your keyboard. And if you want to have reliable internet, you need Ethernet. So when you have a 12-inch MacBook Adorable with exactly one port, what that means is Dongle Town. And I discovered that just because something on Amazon says it supports 4K doesn't make it true, even if it has a really high-end brand like Anker written on it, which surprised the heck out of me because I've never been disappointed by an Anker product in my life until I ordered one of their 7-way adapters and found it wouldn't work with my 4K monitor, even though it said 4K in giant big writing. So after 2 returns to Amazon, I eventually found a cheap and highly functional adapter from a company I'd never heard of before called Desert West. And it's actually in like a solid block of aluminium, so it even looks right next to a Mac. And so it gives me one USB-C, obviously, with a power delivery, which is really important on the 12-inch MacBook Adorable, a whole bunch of USB 3 ports, USB A-shaped, USB 3, card readers I don't care about, HDMI, and Ethernet.
Nice.
And basically, this thing has allowed me to make use of my shiny big 4K monitor on my MacBook Adorable, and to keep my backup drive for Time Machine and my good old fashioned, like exactly that keyboard you held up earlier, plugged in. And well, my Magic Trackpad is exactly that one. My Magic Trackpad is obviously over Bluetooth, but it really does make it possible to work comfortably with a MacBook Adorable. Granted, it did get a bit slow when Microsoft Teams was involved, but that's not really the MacBook Adorable's fault. So Desert West is the company. I hadn't heard of them before, but I really, really like both the industrial design, the price, and the fact that it actually works. And it works reliably. And it's powered me through March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So, it's fairly earned its keep already. So anyway, there it is. Desert West, their USB-C adapter.
Good to know. Good to know about the Anchor and the fact that supports. And congratulations. I was
just so surprised that such a well-known brand would promise 4K, and I shove it into the monitor and it goes, nope. No.
And congratulations. Even during this holiday season, there are two words that will raise my blood pressure, and you just uttered them. Microsoft Teams. So we'll talk about that on another show at another time. So, Mike, round two.
Round two. Well, I'm looking at my list and I'm debating which way to go. Now, I have something I'm hesitant to bring up. It's blatant self-promotion. I have blatant self-promotion. I have a more altruistic pick, and then I have a kind of a more generic pick, and then a standard pick. So, kind of debating which one to go to next. I think I'm going to save my altruistic one for the last pick. We have 4, right?
We have 4.
All right. You know what? I'm going to go with this kind of nice generic pick. We all know, and I'm sure many of the folks who listen to your show know, an Apple superfan, somebody who just can't get enough cool Apple gear in their house. And there is a very cool website out there, a very cool online store out there. I absolutely just adore this site. I can't help but shop there every year. And every year they don't send very many emails out, but every year they start to send them out at Christmas time. And every year I do everything I can to not buy stuff from their site, which I shouldn't say, but it's just to help preserve the integrity of my bank account more so than not wanting to promote their goods. So I'm going to promote them on your site, on your show. The site is called The Missing Byte. If you've never been here before, check it out. It's themissingbyte.com, or actually, I think it's just missingbyte.com, and it's BITE, as in the missing byte of the apple, the BITE, missingbyte.com. And they have wall-to-wall authentic Apple gear from all throughout the years. I mean, it really doesn't matter what you're looking for. If you're looking for Think Different posters, if you're looking for just vintage Apple posters, I know I saw one the other day for a vintage iMac from the mid-90s or mid to late 90s. They have stickers, they have coffee mugs, they have tumblers, they have pins, rainbow Apple pins, mouse pads, just all kinds of stuff on their site. And the pricing of what's on their site, you might think because it's vintage collectible Apple gear, it's all going to be super expensive, but it's not. Some of it is. Some of the Think Different posters are, in particular, because of their rarity, more expensive. But as I was looking through those the other day, which I'm always wanting one of those, they ranged in price for pretty decent sized posters from somewhere around, I think they had as small as 11 by 17 posters. You know what, I'm going to just pull them up here while we're talking. They had 11 by 17 posters for like $150 on up to 300, 400 and higher, depending on the rarity of it. They have the Mahatma Gandhi poster. They have Miles Davis, Pablo Picasso. They had the Jim Henson. That's the one I have my eyes on. They have all sorts of the Think Different posters. If you can tell, that's the part of the site I look at the most. But they also have apparel. They have the kind of classic Apple baseball cap that this one is modeled after with the Apple logo on the center. They have all iPod T-shirts. There's even an OS 10 Jaguar t-shirt, all kinds of cool stuff. So if you know somebody who is just an Apple geek, an Apple fanatic, someone who would love this stuff, get them a gift certificate to the Missing Byte, or just pick out anything from their site and gift it to them, and they're absolutely going to love it. I guarantee it. missingbyte.com. Cool site.
This is proving very bloody expensive.
Yes.
I do apologize, Bart.
This is worse than one pick that I absolutely need to buy, like that keyboard. There's a million things in here I absolutely need to buy.
Right? It's like, that's what I'm telling you. I have to preserve my bank account and not shop there. I have purchased from them, but I have to be very careful. They do have sales every once in a while too. So,
well, right now the stainless steel mug I really want is at $10 off.
Yeah.
Now I have to buy it. I mean, clearly the
you have to buy it. You're making money by purchasing it for yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
And unfortunately, the fact that I'm going to get walloped with 21% import duty on all of this as well.
Yeah.
So
hey.
I'm so glad you talked about the affordability of some of the things, Mike, because I went to the vintage Apple posters and I'm looking at the Picasso Macintosh poster.
Yeah.
For $3,499.95.
Yeah, I didn't mention that one.
Yeah. Wow.
Again, It's based on the rarity. Look at the blue iBook poster is only $12.95.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's one for you, Chuck. The Pentium snail poster. That's only $2.99.
Yeah, that's thank you. That's exactly the way I want to spend. I paid less than that for the 27-inch monitor, Mike.
I don't know if you can see them. I have a couple Intel Bunnymen figures up here, up on top, that I got in the 90s.
Yeah.
The snail poster is cool, and I'd love a reprint of it. But that's obviously an original at that price, and
yeah,
that I can't justify.
Cool stuff. I love that site.
I did not know about this site. Thank you, Mike. I think, Bart, with you, I think he just cost us both some money.
So you're 2 for 2 on my wallet, Mike.
I think Chuck needs one of those big vintage posters on the wall back behind those two monitors.
It has to be big because those monitors are so big. The poster
has to be big. You got to go for that 24 by 36 one, Chuck.
I could probably paper it with 20s for less than that.
One of each.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So I'm going to end up round 2. I've kind of debated about this one, but I feel justified in picking it. And that is a ScanSnap scanner. Now there's one over, always do it wrong, over this shoulder right there. That is, it's been with me a number of years. And this year it was going to be basically end of life because the software wouldn't work anymore. And they decided to update the drivers and make it fully viable again. And I have to tell you, I mean, it's lasted for so long. These are not inexpensive document scanners, but they hold up on a ridiculously great basis. The reason I said I wasn't sure about this is I've read a number of articles that say, you know what, you don't need these anymore. You can do it with your iPhone. Take pictures with certain apps, and it's as good as doing it. And it's like, well, yeah, okay, I can scan the documents in parentheses that way, but where the ScanSnap shines is the document management that you can plug into. I have it figuratively and literally. I have it paired with DevonThink, and it is seamless. I mean, where if I were to get a bill in and I had to take a picture with my iPhone and then figure out a way to file it, I mean, I'm sure I could do it with shortcuts and all that, but those things, I don't know about you guys, but for me, they always break down somewhere and they end up being more trouble than they're worth. Once I set this ScanSnap scanner up with DevonThink, it scans it, it OCRs it, it files it, and that's it. And so it is literally a one button touch solution. And then I can take that paper and either archive it, because the tax man says I have to hold on to it for 7 years, or I can feed it to the shredder. if it's something that is relatively unimportant. So, yeah, it's going to be a little bit of money. There's no question about it. They have several models. So now they didn't used to, but they have several models. Go check them out. But if you want that one-touch solution, this is the way to go. And I can't tell you how many times for tax purposes and for other purposes. Now I'm to the point that I scan pretty much anything on paper that comes in, because that way it's what, again, it OCRs it, and therefore it becomes searchable. And I found things in a small, very small fraction of the time it would have taken me to dig back through any paper filing system, to the point that I really don't have a paper filing system anymore other than just a cardboard box. Because I know I religiously scan things, and so that therefore everything is scanned. If I ever do have to produce a paper, that's going to be a major effort. But if I really need to produce a paper, why can't I print it off of this? Well, you can. So other than just the tax requirements, there's really no reason for you to hang on to paper anymore. You just obviously want to back up, make sure your documents are backed up. But I'm definitely paying for a little bit of convenience, but again, I'm paying for productivity, and that's a big thing for me. So the ScanSnap scanners, I just cannot recommend them highly enough.
Chuck, you said you pair that with DevonThink. Now, ScanSnap used to include, I presume they still do, their own scanning and organization software. Do they still have something like that in there, or was that?
No, as far as I know, they do, Mike. When I set this up, though, the software that came with it was not quite as robust as I would have liked.
No, it's not.
And this is back. I mean, again, this is like, I'm going to say like 8 or 9 years old. And so in computer terms, that's a lifetime or two. And DevonThink was there already. They were able to pull it in, accept it, do everything. It was sort of the gold standard at that time. And I know that Joe Kissel is working on an update to his take control of your paperless office. And I'm anxious to see what his version of the gold standard will be software-wise going forward. But for right now, this solution does everything I want. It's been battle-tested, and it just works. So if you want something that has been battle-tested and just works, go get a ScanSnap.
Nice.
Yeah. The third and fourth rounds of this MacVoices gift guide will be in the next edition of MacVoices, and I can tell you that you're going to definitely want to check them out because they get even more unusual than the first two rounds. That's next time on MacVoices. Until then, I'm Chuck Joyner, and as always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you MacVoices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.